Hey guys. Can you hear me? This is my first time ever live streaming. Hey guys. I'm gonna be repotting a lot of Venus flytraps. Basically, I want to fill up the entire greenhouse with new Venus flytraps that we're going to be repotting. I'm just trying to figure out how to stream this, because like I said in a little bit, I don't really know how to do this. It's my first time live streaming. More boom. Roblox story kid. Hey Chainsaw Man. Guys, please bear with me for a second. I have never live streamed, so I'm just trying to figure out how to do all the chats and all that. Just get them all on the same screen so I can see what's going on. Hi Chainsaw Man, William, Pickle Young, Coco, Healer, hey Healer, Inlander, hey guys, Shu, Sniper the Target, Roblox Story Kid, hello, Green Tiger, Constantin, It's Void, White, YouTube _ TUV, Makbul Ahmed, hello everyone. Thank you Chainsaw Man, I do appreciate that. Green Tiger, your fly trap had one trap for like a month, now it's growing some more traps finally. One of the leaves is making 2 traps. That's good, it sounds like you have figured out what was wrong with it. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get chat on the same screen and then get it onto my phone so I can go actually repot all the plants, which is what we're going to be doing. If you guys have just joined, it's as the title states, we are going to be repotting, we're going to be making new Venus flytraps basically until we fill up the greenhouse. So it might take 1 day, it might take 2, it might take the whole weekend. I don't know how long it's going to take. So it's going to be pretty interesting. And I know my back is going to hurt really bad because bending over, I'm sure if you guys are getting old like me, your back starts to hurt after a couple minutes bending over. William Pickle, thank you, I appreciate that. I'll see you later, it's Void, YT_TUV. That's a long ass name, bro. Okay, let me try and get this thing sorted out so I can move on. And then we can start repotting some plants. Can you guys like see me, like just me, or do you like see my computer screen too? But are you guys actually getting adverts? Roblox Story Kid, this is gonna go on. I'm gonna be repotting plants until the greenhouse is full, so... Okay, good to know that you guys can only see me. Are you guys actually getting adverts? Doge, I can see you getting an advert, that's crazy. By the way, I'm not, like, if you're getting adverts, it's not me. Like, I don't know how that stuff works. So, if that's a YouTube thing. And I apologize if you're getting adverts. Venus flytraps are safe for pets. Cargo jokes, they are fine. Don't worry about them. As long as your pets like don't eat them, like I'm sure animals eating, like a dog or a cat eating grass, I don't think that's a very good thing. So hopefully it just doesn't keep on eating it. Like that's not good, but like they're not poisonous, you know? Hi again, Green Tiger. So yeah, guys, please bear with me. Like I said, I didn't even know I was gonna be going live. Like I clicked like I was trying to do a preview and then it just went live. I was like, okay, I guess we're live now. David Biotto. Oh, so you're from Brazil. David Biotto. Bro, I can't say that. Am I the Green Tiger? Are you the only American? Interesting question. Hi, Docs Roll Gaming. Can you show us a Flytrap? Is it bad when they eat very much? Constantine, no, it's not very bad if they eat very much. As long as it's natural, like they're doing it by themselves, it's perfectly fine. It's fine, it's healthy, it's good. Crystal Gaming 1. I have seen your YouTube. Thank you, I do appreciate that. Thanks for being here. Okay, guys, I'll show you. Look, I'll show you the plants really quick. I'll show you the plants so that you know, like, it's actually happening, right? I've got everything set up. Here are some fly traps. These ones, they look really bad. That's why we're obviously going to be repotting them. So check how big. That one's just huge. Like, you know, I know I have massive hands, you know, massive fingers for massive gloves and whatnot. Like, literally put the plants, like, just put your thumb out, like it's as big as your thumb pretty much. So we got some different ones here. I'll go into more depth in a little bit. Like, I'll show you the different, I'll show you guys the different names, the different cultivars we have here. And yeah, we got a whole bunch of soil there. That's one trade's going into. I have a little bit of a challenge that I'm going to try and do with you guys. Like, we're going to see which plants are damaged, which ones are fine. Some pots. And out here, here's the greenhouse. So that's the greenhouse that we are going to be filling up. So it's quite big. It's the same greenhouse that I had at my last place. Some of you guys might remember that greenhouse. So yeah, it's that same greenhouse. It's quite big. I never filled that one up anyway, so they'll bite your hand. Crystal Gaming, you know, it's funny, people really think, like, people think, okay, yeah, they're carnivorous, they have digestive acids, and they can digest meat. Like, I've done a video on it where they digest beef. They don't really like chicken, but they're as soft, like, touch your eyelashes. That's how soft their little teeth are. They're so, like, safe. Like, unless you're a little tiny bug, you're fine. The video Biotto, sorry if I'm butchering your name, but thanks for being here. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you, Biotto. Green Tiger. They look better than yours. I'm not sure about that. Red Manjar. Hopefully I'm saying it right. B52 or DCXL. Man, that's a tough one. I'll probably have to say B52. I guess I like the colors, but it always changes. I live in England. Docs Roll Gaming. Hi memes. I live in England, but I don't have an English accent. Doge. You want to see a picture plant? There's one at the front, but you see, look, some of you guys might remember, you know, my neighbors. They're kind of crazy, so I'll go outside and I'll show you guys a pitcher plant quick, but I won't talk because it's very windy as well outside. Do I have a bladderwort? No, I don't have a bladderwort. Hi, Braxton. Okay, let me go and show you guys I'll show you guys a pitcher plant that I have outside. The rest are in the grow room. So it's not that simple to go and show you those ones. But I do have one outside. I'll show you guys really quick. Just out the front here. Okay, I'm not going to talk while I'm outside, but you guys will see them. They are Sarracenia purpurea and Sarracenia leucophila. That one's purpurea. Well, there's some pitcher plants for you guys. Now I'm gonna try and set up this chat so we can get started. So I might not be replying to chat for a couple of minutes, guys. I'll see what you guys just said now. Hi Parker, thank you for your message. That's really cool. Yeah, just be careful. The plants can get addictive. Xavier, Landa, hello. Braxton, Rudel, hello. Thank you. What ants do you have to feed? I don't feed them ants. If they catch ants, they catch it. That bog is, Tim, that bog is about 2 years old. Hi, Pixel Subspace. Cargo jokes, why are you confused? Oh yeah, Constantin, the pitcher plants love bees. I like to rescue them if I even notice. But most of the time they'll eat them. You know what it's like. How old are those? Patrick Chernyavsky. I hope I said that right. Those pitchers are 3-4 years old. Hi, Lieutenant Lama. Crystal Gaming 1. You are an editor and a designer. I can edit or create thumbnails for you for just $7 or $8. I appreciate the offer. However, I am still learning what makes good videos and good design. So even if I were to pay someone, I wouldn't know if it's good or not. So I need to learn myself before I can get other people to do it. So I thank you for your offer, but I won't be able to do that right now. I am your neighbor's nephew. Cargo jokes. I am going to be repotting Venus flytraps until we fill up the greenhouse. I'm just struggling to set up back chat so I can actually monitor what you guys are saying. Karen just got home, guys, so I'll probably be able to figure out chat. So we should get started in about, I don't know, let me just say 10 minutes. We'll be able to get started. So if you guys want to go get some food or go get some drinks before I set up the camera and everything, feel free to do that. Yeah, because I think, like I said, it's my first time ever live streaming. So, and I did start the stream early by mistake. But I think I know a way I'm going to be able to monitor chat down in the other room where I showed some of you guys where the plants are. But I'm just waiting for Karen to come in. You guys might know Karen. She's just parking the car. So when she comes in, I'll be able to access her computer. Then I can take her computer down there and then see what's going on. So yeah, I'll just sit with you guys for a bit while she comes in. Red Manja, I'm sorry about ads. I didn't know that they're on. I'm obviously not doing that. I want to grow Venus flytraps in hydroponic systems. No nutrition, but only distilled water. I have heard of people growing them, not necessarily hydroponically, but they have like really big, like little ponds in their house, and they put the pots inside of foam, styrofoam, and then they sit that styrofoam on the water, and it like floats around, and then it, you know, absorbs the water when it needs to, whatever. So I guess you could do something similar with hydroponics. So I just need to open up the door. You could do something similar with hydroponics for them, and it might actually help. It might actually help them grow a bit quicker. Okay.
Hey.
I'm just live streaming.
Alright. Is that who you were talking to?
Yeah, and I'll need you. I'm talking to chat.
Chatticus.
Yeah, I'm gonna need your help.
Do you want me to plug this in?
Just leave it for now. I need your help in a second. Like I need to stream to your computer so I can monitor the chat, because I'm reporting down there.
You can't stream to your computer?
I am streaming to my computer, but I can't access chat from down there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you. So yeah, like I was saying about growing them hydroponically, you should try doing it hydroponically. It will be quite interesting, to be honest, because they'll get more oxygen and stuff, and oxygen is quite a big problem with growing these plants. Like they get anaerobic soil, which usually kills them off and whatnot. So Curry Tate, what's up? How are you? Braxton Rudel, I have a YouTube channel called Braxton Rudel. Hello. Do you keep pings? If so, do you have any care tips? Those are the only carnivorous plants I can't keep. I have a few pings. I don't want it. They're part of a future video, but I'll grab one of them and show you, so that I don't spoil the video. This is Pinguicula gigantea. It's catching a lot of little midges or whatever they're called. The dogs are whining because they want to say hello to Karen. So yeah, I do have pings. If you want some tips, I think you asked for some tips. Any care tips? Yeah, I'm in the northern hemisphere, so I keep them in a south-facing window. And they don't like a lot of light. They like bright light, but they don't like intense light like Flytraps. And I think they're quite sensitive to water, so make sure you're only using really clean water. So like rainwater or distilled water, that's the best. Gojira Rice Krispies. Yes, this is my first live. I've never done one before this, so yeah. So yeah, like Xavier said, I'm setting it up, and I'm waiting for Karen to come in. So Red Manja, I live in Texas. 100 degrees, that's like 40 Celsius. They can handle up to 45 degrees Celsius, which is like 100, like, I don't know, 120 Fahrenheit. But you need to protect them from the hot afternoon sunlight in Texas, I assume, and Arizona or something also. Gojira, the next Flytrap games is going to be very similar. Well, not very similar. It's going to be similar to the last one, but if you watch the what is it called? The little trailer that I made. Those are the events that's gonna be in the game, in the Flytrap games too. So. Roblox kids, it is 4:15, and cargo jokes. No, I did not stop. Okay, I'm going to see if we can figure this chat thing out now. Karen's inside. Can you log onto your computer for me, please? I'm trying to like monitor it on what is this thing called? Discord. Come on, boys.
Do whatever it is.
Yeah, go into Discord. Red Manja, I can't just connect it with just my phone because I'm streaming like to 2 or 3 different things at the same time, and they're all like separate, so I don't know how to do that. Yeah, just mute it. Just mute it there. Yeah. And now. Did it just say it's ended?
Yeah.
Are you not going to use your phone, are you?
No.
Can I use your phone then to monitor the chat?
Sure.
Okay. Probably just do that. Where's your phone?
I don't know. Near the front door.
Sorry guys, I'm obviously a bit unprepared. My first stream, and it started like earlier than I expected. I was like, oh, I better switch this off quick, and then people had already jumped in, so.
Is the cupping machine finished?
Yes.
So it's done now?
Yeah.
It did flush?
Yeah, I flushed it out. Okay guys, I think I'm nearly there. Okay, I think I've got it all set up now, guys. So I do apologize for that delay. Let me set up the camera. Oh wow, guys, this is a struggle. Hey guys, if you're joining, hello. Okay. So I should be all set up now. I can read chat. Konstantin, my sundews are not sticky anymore because I watered them on the leaves. Does that mean they will die, or will they survive? They'll be perfectly fine. Slap knees, thank you for your kind words. I appreciate that. I hope you enjoy the next season when it comes out. I'll tell you guys on stream, but the second season of the Flytrap games will be in about, and now don't quote me on this, but like 2 to 3 weeks, okay? The reason why it might take 2 to 3 weeks is because the weather hasn't been the best, and we're warming up now here in England, and I needed to repot the plants first before I could do the next season. So if you guys, everyone that's still joining, we are going to be repotting Flytraps, filling up the greenhouse, and we won't stop until the greenhouse is basically full, or until I guess I run out of pots, you know, whatever. So here are some of the pots. I have a bunch more, so we have quite a lot of pots to go through, quite a lot of soil. So oh, you guys on TikTok. You guys hear that? Did anyone hear that? Yo, you guys on TikTok. How do I even see like the chat here on TikTok? If you guys on TikTok, like, can someone on TikTok say something so I can see what is going on? Because I can't, I don't know how to see TikTok's chat. Alright, well, you guys on TikTok are just going to be sideways, I guess. Damn, this is irritating. Roblox Story Kid, I do not recommend that feeding them that's been sprayed with bug spray. If you need to kill flies on, you just try and swat it. Or just keep the plant outside, they'll catch food pretty easy by themselves. I don't have Gojira Rice Krispies. I don't have carnivorous bromeliads, but they do exist. I might grow Nepenthes, Andromeda Gaming. I might grow Nepenthes, but you know, we might move. That's the thing. We might be moving, and Nepenthes need a bit more setup. Well, not all of them, but if I want to get Nepenthes, I want to give them the best possible life. So in order for me to give them the best possible life, I don't want to be leaving them, you know, in a greenhouse without like proper equipment and stuff. So, and because we're going to be moving, there's no real point right now. But in the next, I don't know, 2 years or so, we should know where we're going to be moving to, and then at that time, when we eventually move, hopefully I'll get some more Nepenthes and whatever else. Okay guys, I'm gonna you guys on TikTok, I'm gonna fix your camera because it's sideways, and then we can start. Okay, you guys on TikTok are all sorted, YouTube sorted. I don't have any Nepenthes, Konstantin. Daniel Zaidan, hello. Okay guys, let's actually get started now that it's all set up. So we have, let's see, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We have 18 Venus flytraps here right now. Some of them I've had these for about 2 years. The ones in these little red pots, these little black pots, I've had them for about 2 years, and I have not repotted them in 2 years, which is not the best, which is why, if you look at these two, compared to, I guess, that one, look at how small, like this one, you can't even see what's going on in there. But this one is doing fine because it's a bit healthier plant. But these two, you can barely even see them. Check that out, guys. You can barely even see them, right? So they need to be repotted really badly. And as we all know, what happens when we repot, like with this pot, for example, that's just full of little fly traps, what ends up happening is that you end up with like 100 different plants. And I'm not exaggerating. So that is why I say we are going to repot until we fill up the greenhouse. And some of you guys might be wondering, what are we going to do with all those plants? Well, I want to grow them up and then try and sell them because there's just too many for me. Giant Venus flytrap, Mandy. There are. I have one right here. So Mandy's asking if there's giant Venus flytraps. Check that. Next to my thumb. This Venus flytrap is literally as big as my thumb. So yeah, there you do get giant ones. DCXL is a big one, B52 is a big one. This is Southwest Giant Hybrid 4. That's obviously a big one too. Okay. So if you guys have never repotted plants or fly traps, which if you're in the stream, you probably have, we're going to go through it together. So I'm obviously inside, so we're going to be using this bigger tub so I don't make a mess on the table. Let's see what's going on. Daniel Zaidan, yes, I have a King Henry. It's in the grow room. Dracula's in the grow room. I can show you guys that one later. No, there's not Tiger Tooth. Tiger Tooth is in the greenhouse, in the grow room also. Okay, so guys, which one should we start with? Which plant should we start with? I'll give you guys an option, okay? Which Venus flytrap should we start with? Okay, we got the really big one, the medium one, and the small one. You guys tell me. Just say like small, medium, or large. Just let me know. And we'll start off with whichever one you guys recommend. Let me know which one. Large. The big one, large. Okay, the large one it is, guys. So this, like I said earlier, Southwest Giant Hybrid 4, such a dumb name. Just say like Southwest, like if you're gonna have them all called like Hybrid 1, 2, 3, 4, just might as well just give them a fancy name if you're gonna be selling just that one, right? Anyway. Can your finger get cut off by a fly trap? No. They are not that they're not that dangerous, guys. You cannot get your fingers cut off by a Venus flytrap. Touch your eyelashes, that's how soft they are. So if you guys take your plant like this, turn it upside down and gently squeeze the sides of your pot. Some pots are harder than others, this one's fairly soft. So you gently squeeze the sides and then you just go down like that. A couple times. There it is. That's the whole plant. So that's how the roots of a Venus flytrap looks like. And you can see, usually a good way to tell how healthy it is, if you give it, like you smell it, if it smells like really bad, then you know that it needs to be repotted. And obviously this one hasn't been repotted in years. It even has like a little coil. It has a little coil of roots there, where the roots have just gone in circles. I don't know how well you guys can see that on the camera, it's quite small. But just imagine a little spring of roots, that's crazy. But that's how the Venus flytrap roots looks like, guys. So then the next step, once you have your thing, you don't want to damage the roots. So that's why we have the damaged and new plants counter here. So if I damage a plant or the roots, I'm going to take a tally of how many we made, how many new plants we get, and how many I've damaged. And each plant that I damage is going to be an additional minute that I have to do a cold plunge in literally ice water. So I'm going to go and get a lot of ice, fill the bath up, and however many minutes of damaged plants we have, I'm going to be staying in there for that long, so I don't want to really damage them. But the way to not damage it, you have to be very gentle. So slowly spread apart the soil, just like that. And then you should get to the rhizome. So that big white chunk in there is the rhizome. And that's where the plant stores all of its energy, all its nutrients. Some of you guys probably know that. But then slowly just keep on pulling apart the soil and do it gently so that you don't damage any of the roots, or else you have to do an extra minute in the cold plunge. And what some people do, they'll dip this in like a bowl of water because it helps to pull all the soil away from the roots. I don't do that, it gets quite messy. Because this is good enough. And there you have it, guys. Take a look. That is a Venus flytrap rhizome. That is where it stores all the energy that it makes. So this one is quite big. All of that white stuff is energy that the plant stores. So all the bugs that it's eaten in its entire life, all the nutrients in the soils, all the times I've sprayed it with fertilizers, all of that gets absorbed and gets turned into that, so that they can get through winter, and then now in summer they can grow and make big traps. It's actually not recommended to do this during summer. I just need to do it because they're not doing the best. So after you've got it off, you can even do it before. You just take off all the old, dead, what are these traps, put them to the side, and then you're ready to start off with repotting it. So let's just see what you guys are saying here. Hi Jen. Constantine, if your Venus flytraps, like the bottom, if the bottom of the pot smells really bad, smells sulfury like eggy or like death, it means that it's very anaerobic and your plants could be dying. So you should probably do a repot, especially if it doesn't smell good. I'll show you how to do the rest, like we're halfway through now. Donald Abel. Oh wow, I just broke the tray. Donald Abel, yeah, it's a very fun hobby, but it can become quite addictive, obviously. I guess most hobbies, can be. Just depends how much you enjoy it. Do some plants I have they eaten a mouse? No. The only plants that I know of that can eat a mouse are like really big Nepenthes, and I don't have any. Okay, so now that you've got your plants separated, the roots have been cleared out, and you've taken off all the dead stuff, take your pot. So obviously, there's just one here and it's quite big. We won't be using a small pot, because look how tiny that is, right? So we're going to be taking, I'm going to be taking this medium-sized pot. And I like to use sphagnum. So this is just sphagnum moss. You guys have probably seen this stuff before. Just normal sphagnum moss. And then spray it with a bit of water to rehydrate it. And then I use this this rehydrated sphagnum moss to plug up all the holes in the bottom of your pot. So you can see all those holes down there. And the reason for this, guys, I'm only going to give this like tutorial on how to repot them once, because after I do it, it's going to be over. Like, I'm just going to keep on going. So yeah, I like to do that to prevent the peat falling out the holes, because you can imagine how irritating it is trying to water your plants in their trays, and then all the peat and stuff just slowly falls out and gets everywhere. Okay, so now that we've got some of our sphagnum moss rehydrated with some rainwater, probably do a bit more actually. Oh, this stuff absorbs a lot of water. It's good for the plants, obviously, but it gets difficult if you're trying to measure it out yourself. Okay, take your sphagnum moss and roll them up into little balls or in little chunks or something like that. And then you can cover up all those holes in the bottom of your pot. So now you can see how that sphagnum moss is covering up some of those holes there. And that will let the water through, but it will stop the peat from all leaking out like I mentioned. And something that I like to do to make sure that I've got all of the holes actually covered with sphagnum moss is that I'll hold the pot up to some light and then watch the light shine through the back, because then you can see, oh, that spot there, obviously has some light coming through. There's still some ways for the peat to escape, stuff like that. So you guys probably can't even see that, but nothing's coming out anymore. So check that out, guys. Now that is full. What's up, the plant man? How you doing? So you can see now that's full of sphagnum moss. Now that your soil won't fall out of there anymore. And now we can actually start putting some new soil in. Labat24, thank you. King Dudes, hello. Mage, hello. Mage, hello. King Dudes, hello. Zeal being zeal, we are going to be repotting as many fly traps as it takes to fill up our greenhouse, which is completely empty, and I won't stop until it's done. Cass, yes, I love the fly traps too. Mage, I don't know how to say that. Mage. Yeah, I have been uploading on the second channel now, because like the way that the algorithm works, this shorts channel, the shorts YouTube channel, like, guys, think of this, right? When you're scrolling on shorts or on TikTok and you see something that's really interesting, like, for example, I don't know, I like to use the example, like, you're scrolling and you see someone's like tortoise, right? And they made them like a really cool like enclosure for the tortoise. You'll watch the whole video because it's quite interesting what they built. And then YouTube says, okay, well, they like the video, they like this type of content, and so then what they'll do, they'll show you another one of the videos, and then let's say they made this tortoise like a hat. They knitted it a scarf or something, so you watch that full thing. But then when you click out of the shorts part and you go and look at your normal YouTube home screen, like you only watched that person's videos because you found them interesting while scrolling. If you see the long video pop up on your channels, like I built my tortoise, a tortoise hut or something like that, you'll be like, I don't really care too much about tortoises, and I don't really care about tortoise houses. I'm not really going to watch this. But you would watch their shorts because you don't choose them. So what ends up happening is that YouTube thinks, oh, this is a bad video, no one wants to watch it. So that's why they don't show it to you, to more people. So that's something that is a real problem, which is why I split up the channel into two, and that's why that's why I finished the Flytrap Games Season 1 on the new channel to have two separate channels, one for shorts, one for longs. But it is finished. The season 1's done, and we're going to be starting Season 2 soon. So you might find that one interesting. Mass. Okay, mass. Gojira, while you're watching this, just shopping for more plants. I understand. Taco Axolotl, hello. What is second monitor content? Mass? I don't know what that really is. Look, I don't even watch live streams. I just thought it'd be really cool to repot with you guys. Jen, I will grow Nepenthes, but only in a couple years because we're going to move houses, so. White Fox, this channel is about, how do I say it, carnivorous plants. It's just, the bio is like to educate and entertain about carnivorous plants. That's what the channel's about. Why does the Flytrap not in the pot? I'm going to put it in the pot soon. You're right, I should put it in the pot. Redley. I'm going to put it into the pot soon. I'm just talking to chat, I guess. I get distracted very easily, if you guys couldn't tell. Yeah, so White Fox, about carnivorous plants, educating and entertaining with them. That's what the channel's about, pretty much. Have you seen the white, Colleen, have you seen the white variegated Venus flytraps? Yes, I have two of them. I have Ghost and Genepine, or Genepine, I don't know how you say it. Sort of like long form videos, like podcasts. Oh, okay, I understand then. Oh, like background, like you mean like background stuff. That makes sense. Thank you for the roses, guys. I'm not sure what that is, but thank you. But yeah, Redley, you have a very valid point. This plant, we need to put this plant into the soil. So let me show you guys how to do that now. I should have not actually unpotted the Flytrap so soon, to be fair. I should have set up the pot first, but they can be out their pot for, as long as they're moist, weeks. But obviously like this, a few hours until they start drying out. So once you put your sphagnum moss in the bottom like that, I have a big thing of peat here. It's peat and perlite in a ratio of 1:1. So what that means is 1 scoop of peat, 1 scoop of perlite, same amount. Mixed it up. It's quite heavy. So you guys can see that is a lot of peat that we're dealing with here. So then take your pot and I'll just scoop it in. Okay, so now we've got some peat perlite in here. And then I'll tamp it down a little bit because you want your first layer of peat to make very good contact with the water. So you fill up the bottom of it with your peat that's on top of your sphagnum moss that keeps it all from falling out the holes. And you tamp it down tightly so that when the water goes through and touches the sphagnum moss, that it then touches the peat, and then that peat touches the peat above it, so that the water can actually go through the pot. What people sometimes do, they'll make it too loose, and then the water doesn't actually get sucked up into the peat properly, and then your plant ends up dying from like dehydration. And people wonder, why is it dying? It looks like it's not getting enough water, but then it's obviously always sitting in water because the plants need to be sat in water all the time. So it gets kind of confusing, but it's probably because the soil isn't compacted enough. You obviously also have a problem if you compact it too much. If you compact it too much, the water doesn't get absorbed, because it's like if you take a sponge and you just keep it squeezed, it won't suck any water up. It's like a sponge. So how do you know? Well, if you tamp it down enough and it's fairly firm, and you can turn it upside down, see? Just gently, just with 2 fingers like that. See? Hi Braden. If you just go with 2 fingers like that, even a little shake, the peat doesn't fall out. So that's how you know that it is tight enough at the bottom. So then after that, I will take more peat and perlite mix. Half fill up the pot, and you're making like a wall of soil, and I'll show you exactly what that looks like in a second here. So you can see how it's now half soil, half a gap. See that, guys? Half soil, half gap. So you want to do that, and you want this next layer of peat to be slightly less compact than the very first one that you made, because sometimes you might overdo that very bottom layer, and the very bottom layer, it's okay to do that. Like, it's not obviously not recommended, but it's okay. But then this next one, you want to be able to turn it so that if you were to shake it, it would all fall out, and I'd obviously want to shake it. So if I were to go with this pot, if I were to go like that, it would all fall out. But if you hold it upside down, it's enough. So that's how you know you're on the right track. So after you got to this step, we're going to fill up half of this gap that we have here. We're making like an L, like a right angle, a V. And it's the same thing as when we made that vertical wall. So now there are 4 little squares basically. You guys can see that? There are 4 squares, and one of the 4 squares are empty. And that's where we're going to put the plant in. Okay? But you can't put your fly trap in any direction. If you take a look at your fly trap's rhizome, you can see it has a bit of a direction to it. It's actually very hard to show you guys on camera. Can you see it's like traveling in a direction? Can you guys actually see that? Let me know. It's probably very difficult to see. Let me know if you guys can see that. Hi, Taco Axolotl. Daniel Zaydan, drop it in water and it will be okay. You are right. If you want to leave the plants out for a while, like when we get to the pot that has a lot of plants and you need to separate lots of them and it takes you a while, just put them in the water and they'll be fine. Daniel Zaydan, I don't know any nurseries that can ship to Lebanon. I don't know if Lebanon is in the EU. I don't think it is. Lewis Harry, if you want a shark tooth, send me a message on Instagram or email me, and because I'm probably going to be repotting my shark tooth, so just send me a message and then you can get one of mine. Goodbye, Constantine. Goodbye, Daniel or Daziel. Lewis, I'm grateful for you for being a fan. Thank you. I really hope that you enjoy the next season. Jen, Kiwi's here with her family because I didn't really want it to be alone anymore, but 3 of the babies have now hatched. So she actually has 3 little, I don't know, hatchlings. I don't know what you call them. But yeah, she's got 3 babies now. If you guys don't know who Kiwi is, on the YouTube channel, I did a video, pregnant locust versus Venus flytrap. And Kiwi is the pregnant locust. And she's insane. She's really cool. So in the end, you know, spoilers I guess, she lays eggs, and I've kept the eggs. And it took like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and nothing really happened. But then one day, I just saw on the floor like a little cricket looking thing, and you guys can probably hear the crickets that are to my right here. So I'm wondering to myself, like, why is there a cricket out here? Like, this is, like, there shouldn't be a cricket here. It turns out, I look down and see it's a tiny little baby locust. And that tiny baby locust came from that little tub that you guys saw in the video. So her babies had obviously hatched. So I then put them in an enclosed container to catch any of the babies that keep hatching. And then the next 2 days later, after the first one, there was another one, and then the next day was a third one. Okay, wow, they're hatching. So I've put that back in I put that little tub of eggs back in here, so that when they hatch, they can hatch out and be with all the other locusts and eat the food and stuff. So yeah, Kiwi's good. Zeal being Zeal, good day. Stixy Land, thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy the videos. Mass, yes, I'm no longer in Australia. I'm now in England, but we're going to be moving countries again in about 2 years. Gojira Rice Krispies, I get it from a nursery nearby. It's very difficult. If you aren't in Europe, like if you're in like Turkey, India, Pakistan, like those more eastern countries, like east of Europe, it's very difficult to get peats, and people often recommend cocoa peat. And cocoa peat is full of extra salts, because the way that they actually harvest the cocoa peat, they put it in the ocean, and they use the water from the ocean to harvest it, so the salts gets absorbed into the cocoa peat, and it makes it very salty. And then the salts and minerals kills your plants, so you got to be careful. But yeah, you have to try and find, like, you have to search and search and search. For people that live in very tropical climates or live in like India, like I have a couple friends in India, they try actually growing the plants in pure sphagnum moss. So this is sphagnum moss. This is just pure sphagnum moss. It's spag moss by Best Grow. They're like the only place that really does sphagnum moss. They're from New Zealand, I think. But yeah, you can try growing them in just that. There are a lot of sellers in India though that I know of, only because my friends have told me, my Indian friends, they sell moss that's not actually sphagnum moss. So you got to be careful. You got to know what sphagnum moss actually looks like. You got to be careful that you don't get, I guess, scammed. Yeah, Mash, you have to rinse your soil out. Hi Brad Bear, I'm glad that you're here. Thank you. Where are you? Are you in England also, Brad Bear? Or are you in America? Because the weather today in England, it's good, but it's quite windy. I was actually going to do this live stream outside, but then you guys wouldn't be able to hear me. So anyway, you see, I get distracted. So I was trying to read chat to see if anyone could actually see the rhizome, but no one mentioned anything. But I'll just assume that you can see it. The rhizome has a direction. So if that's the soil level, you can see it grows sideways. See how it grows sideways with my fingers going? The point where the newest growth comes out is the direction it's traveling in. Now, if you take the direction of travel and you have it going up against the side of the pot, it will grow into the side of the pot, and then you will have to repot it next year. So what you want to do is have it growing into the middle of the pot. So if you slightly offset it, so instead of having it right there in the middle of the pot, instead of having it there in the middle for you guys, my 6 viewers on TikTok, instead of having it to the side, I mean having it right in the middle like that, as you guys can see, if you have it to the side, it will grow into the middle. And for everyone else on the other camera, I'm going to show you the same thing. Instead of putting it in the middle, put it on the side, because then it will grow to the middle. And that's obviously the side of that little hole that I'm talking about. Okay? So I'm going to fill up that hole a little bit so that we can get it to the side of that little hole I just mentioned. Okay. So now, with plants that have shorter roots like this, you don't really have to worry about the roots. But what you do need to worry about for the plants that have really long roots, if you just shove it in, they all get bunched up, and that can strangle the plants out. It can hamper their growth. So for a plant like that, I'll just show you with this one. This one doesn't need it, but I'll show you anyway. You'll take like a little handful of soil, and you can kind of like push that into their roots. This is only if you've already cleaned their roots out. If it's been washed and you've thoroughly removed all the old soil from the previous pot, that's when you kind of need to do it. Because there's nothing around their roots, there'll be like an empty cavity there. So kind of wrap their roots around in that soil, and then you can drop that little ball of soil into your little gap. Okay, so now we've got it. We've got the plants now in there, in that little gap that we made. And I'm going to fill this up with some peat here. I know I'm off screen, guys. I just can't do this in front of you because it's going to make a huge mess. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this. It's probably going to be rough. Tom. Karen?
Yeah.
Did you change the Wi-Fi or something?
No.
Oh, I lost signal for a bit there. It's fine.
Okay.
So, as I was trying to show you guys, that gap that we had the plant in, you fill that gap up with soil and then you push it with your thumb. You just push that soil into that gap. And that will give you good contact of the soil around the roots of your plant. And then, this isn't necessary, but I like to do it. You take your plant, you hold it, and then you, with your thumbs, or your other fingers, whatever, just push that soil that's all around the sides of the pot, push it down so that it fills up any air gaps, because those air gaps can kill your plants, because they're basically spots where the soil is not making good contact, which is what I mentioned earlier. It's not making good contact, your plant's not getting water, your plant will die. So Yeah, and then when you do that, you probably make a little bit more space on the top. Just fill it up with some more soil. And we're nearly done with the first one, guys. Only took me an hour. So I'm just going around now in those spots that I had just tamped down. I'm just going around now with my hand with a bit of soil in it, and I'm just filling up those little gaps that I made so that we can make sure that the plant actually has a full soil level. And there we have it, guys. Our first one is potted up, but we're still not done. Many people will just stop here, but I think like the most important step is kind of the next one, in my opinion. And many people would like just skip it. But let me just see what you guys are saying here in chat. Jen, your Nepenthes isn't making traps, only leaves. If it's only making, yeah, Tom Nips, if you don't fertilize at all, then you need to repot it more often, because the roots do use a little bit of nutrition in the soil. So if you don't fertilize, they need more often repots. And Jen, like I was trying to say to you, if they're only making leaves, your Nepenthes, they probably need more light and more humidity. Yeah, Lewis, Harry, the plants are actually doing really good in the garage, to be honest. But yeah, it's quite worrisome, you know. I want to put little, like small greenhouses, like garden little greenhouses in the front. But yeah, I don't know. It's quite scary because, you know, rocks and glass don't mix very well. Hi, Paul. How you doing? Oh, Brad Bear, good to see that you're also from the UK. Xavier, you can play Roblox, just leave the stream on the side if you want to watch it at the same time, that's fine. Yeah, Mass, that's the problem with growing them with sphagnum moss. The roots, they love growing into that sphagnum moss, and it becomes quite difficult to separate them out later on. I've never enjoyed growing them with sphagnum moss. Like, for me, it's like they stay too wet. I've just never had good luck with just sphagnum moss. Hi Pavel, I'm glad that my videos were helpful for you. It's good to hear. Yeah, Mass, the problem with the UK, there's very little sunlight. So you can grow it outside, but you need like a very open area that gets sunlight. And the thing is, it's also so built up, and property spaces are so small, and it's so dark for like 7, 8 months of the year that they don't grow very well unless you have a really prime location, somewhere with a lot of sun for them. So that's why a lot of people in the UK will use grow lights. It's a reason that I'm using grow lights, because I can't grow my plants in the front garden. And the little greenhouse that I put out the back that I'm going to put these plants in, that spot doesn't get enough light. But I need to put them out there because I don't have enough space to have so many plants. And anyway, those ones, they'll be acclimating to the British weather. so that when I do sell them to people, they'll get it and the plant won't suffer from going from a controlled room, like the grow room that I have all the plants in, to someone's outdoor area. If I acclimate it to less light, colder weather, different humidity and stuff, then when they actually receive the plant, it will be healthier for them in their own environment. That's why it's like that. Yes, Paul, you are correct. Top watering them. That's the next step. Paul's just mentioned, Mr. Striker, he's just mentioned the next step we're going to do. I'm going to spray this down, clean it up, and help the soil settle. I'll show you that in a second. Just want to reply to everyone in chat. Hi, Konstantin. Okay, guys, so like Paul mentioned, the next step is to water them from the top, and that will help the soil settle. So I like to use a spray bottle, and by spraying the plants from the top, not only are you allowing the soil to settle down around the roots, which actually lets them get good contact with the soil so they don't dehydrate, even though you think they're alright, it also cleans the peat off of their leaves. And you know, if you're struggling with sunlight already, having peat all over your leaves isn't great, because you know they're not going to get, you know, just a little bit less light on their leaves. And I guess it can cause some problems with like humidity issues and airflow issues, because you have a whole bunch of soil around their leaves. And down in their crown, like right in the middle, right down in the middle there, where the new traps are forming from, if you have soil down in there, then you can cause like mold and rot issues and stuff. So damn, if this bottle would actually work. I like to just spray down deep into the crown to get any soil out, but this bottle's not working. Come on. It's just stopped working. Maybe it's clogged. No. Yeah. Crazy that. It literally stopped working, like the one time I needed it. Karen?
Yeah.
Could you pass me that pink spray bottle, please?
Where?
It should be by Lingy's cage. I just need to get a different spray bottle, guys, because this one literally doesn't even spray anymore. And it's difficult for me to get out from here because I'm trapped up in a circle. Is there water in it?
Yeah.
Can you get it out, please?
No.
Because it's tap water. That's crazy. I've never had a spray bottle just stop working. Like, was I doing something strange just then? I was just using it, right? Yeah, maybe it is punctured somewhere. Thanks, Jenny. What?
Oh, my screen is like split.
Yeah, that's strange. Maybe... Permanent spike. It might have a puncture in it, which is quite strange though. Because I was literally just using it. Pump is dead. Yeah, maybe it's a pump. I don't know. I really don't know. I had a mimosa. Constantine. I had a mimosa, but that was when I was still living in South Africa. And not here in England. They actually grow wild in Australia. So when I used to walk to gym in the afternoons, I would see them like on the grass on the pathways, and I would like tap them with my my shoe, and they would close up. But there's two different types. There's one that is like really thorny, and there's one that's like not. And the ones that were growing wild are really thorny. So you didn't want to really touch them. Everything in Australia is trying to kill you. Tom Nips 1310, that is not a problem. I'm glad to have helped you. Lewis Harry, hello. Weren't you just on YouTube? Or was that someone else? Yeah, Mass, I guess that makes sense. I mean, I have had that spray bottle for like 2 years, so yeah. But it's crazy. It died on screen, like on live stream. So anyway, just got another bottle, and we're just gonna spray the water out, spray the soil out using the water from the crown of the plant, so that we can get all that soil out, and the new growth will be fine, unobstructed. And I'll just clean up the rest of these traps here, so that they have clean traps so they can get good light. And then the only problem with these small ones is that you have to pump them so much. And then I like to clean the outside of the pots, so that we have clean pots, because I don't like peat in the trays everywhere. So there you go, guys. Just going to make sure that there is actually a good water supply running from the top down to make sure that that soil actually mixes well with those roots. But that is our first one done. And I'm going to show you guys in a second when it stops dripping. I'll show you guys how the crown, the middle of the plant actually looks now that we have removed the soil. And you'll be able to see how deep I actually put that plant. Because if you put it too deep, the leaves develop underground and the plant has to use energy to come up. If you make it too high, the plant has to use energy to grow down. So there's a level that you have to actually put the rhizome at. Not too high, not too low. And obviously no soil around the growth point. So I'll be able to show you guys that now in a second. Okay, Lewis, that you're back now. Yeah, Lewis, so I'm gonna put this one to the side and you guys can choose the next plant we do, but I just want to show you this first. Whilst it's still dripping, I just don't want to get the water on the table. Okay. So take a look at the center of the plant. You can see there's a new tiny little growth coming out, and because you can't see it, that means that it's clear of any obstructions. And that's good. That's what you want for the plant, so that it doesn't die. So hopefully you guys can see that. I know it's not easy, but there's no soil in the center there. Ooh. So I need to update this actually. So one new plant. Well, that's the process, guys, and I'm not going to explain everything I do from now onwards because you guys know and you've heard it and you've seen it now. So let's just keep going and we'll just chat about whatever else, and I'm going to keep going until we pretty much fill up that greenhouse. It might take days, hopefully not weeks. So yeah. Yeah, Gojira, I've only done one. Because I've been chatting and stuff in between. Jen, I do have a few fly traps with double heads. I think one of them's called double face, and double. Oh, I don't know. I think I have 3 or 4 of them. Yes, Roblox Story Kid. I do remember you. Ink and Fins. Hello. Hi, Gold Paste. Glad to have you here. Yeah, exactly as Donovan Striker said, guys. If you have the rhizome too low or too high, it can damage or it can hinder the growth of the plants. If it's too high, it has to go down. If it's too low, it has to grow up. Oh, I have to like do this, drag a puzzle piece. Okay. That's crazy. Samuel, thanks for being the #1 fan in the fan club. Yeah, like Donovan Striker was saying, if you have the rhizome too high up, the plant has to use energy to grow down, and if you put the rhizome too low down in the soil, it has to use energy to grow back up. So you have to try and get it at like a perfect spot. But he also says, yeah, have it a little bit up when repotting because it will pull itself down, like just preemptively. Permanent spike, yes, I can do that, and I think I have done that on the Shorts channel. How do you venom wants liver? How do you maintain a bog with the right amount of water? There's different ways. I use the tray method, so I have the tray set to the right height, like 1/3 the height of the pot. But some people who have an enclosed pot, they will drill a hole at the water level height, which is where they want the water to overflow. So then all you have to worry about is just put water in. If there's too much, it will flow out. So that's how people generally do it. Richard Davian, how are you? Good to see you. Lemon Tree, I am happy to have helped you. And yes, Paul, you're right. I need to be prepping them beforehand. I started, what happened is I started the stream early by mistake because it's my first time ever doing a live stream. So I started it early and I was like, oh damn, I need to like get started. So then I unpotted it and then I was like, oh wait, I should have prepared everything first. So I've done everything kind of backwards, but going from now onwards, I'm going to prepare a few pots first before. Yes, Mass. I don't understand why people love Monstera. Like, yeah, they're big or whatever, but no. I guess the way that we feel about like other plants is how other plant people feel about carnivorous plants, right? Lewis Harry, you are #1. Thank you. But yeah, I've never understood like indoor plants like roses and succulents. They're cool. Orchids, yeah. But I don't know. I guess how we feel is how they feel. Muhammad Raf Aziz, please take my name. Hello. Hi. MCE, hi, hello. Constantina, don't have the dancing plant, no. I've never had that one. I have bladderworts, Jen, but I don't have the water wheel. But bladderworts, Utriculata, they come up easily by themselves, so yeah. That's crazy if your Gojira, if your typicals died and your cultivars are fine. That's crazy. Brad Bear, I want to sell plants. I don't rarely sell plants though, but I want to, which is why we're doing this, because I have too many. So I need to repot them all out and get them healthy and then hopefully sell them. I don't really have a favorite though. It always changes, to be honest. Venom wants liver. That's what I did earlier. I put the sphagnum moss at the bottom of the pot, and then you put your soil, and that prevents the soil from leaking through. Some people use mesh, gravel, like there's lots of different things you can do, but that's what I do. Is sphagnum moss, because you know it's safe for the plants, and you use that sphagnum moss to cover up all the holes at the bottom. You'll see me doing it now again. I can't say your name. New Wrecker. The sound in the background are crickets. Like actual crickets. They're here. Mass. Yes. Roses are pests, magnets. And the cultivar, I'll just put this down. The thing with cultivars for fly traps is that sometimes, yes, they are hybrids, so you'll have two different plants that make offspring, and then it should be genetically stronger. But another thing that ends up happening is that if you are tissue culturing plants, and you're tissue culturing a lot of them, the chemicals that they use in tissue culture actually damages the DNA of the plant. And then what ends up happening, you get weird traits like albinism, or that's what creates the variegation, or like scales on fly traps, just whatever, double heads. And then those traits, which are mutations from chemicals really, can create a new cultivar because they have a new trait, but it's weakened. The plant is therefore weakened. So that's why you'll get some plants that are very vigorous, like for example B52 or DCXL, like they were bred to be vigorous. And then you get others that are very weak because they're more like unique because they're like dying, I guess. That's the best that I understand it, at least. There might be something else, like plant biology is insane. Like it's so deep. I mean, even haploidy and polyploidy and stuff. I had a rose in every single leaf full of. They were everywhere. Yeah, Lewis. I have roses too, and all their petals just fall off all the time. But yeah, like I was saying, plants, their hybridization is insane. Like with the human or like animals, if you have like polyploidy or diploidy, the offspring becomes like unviable. If you double your amounts of chromosomes, there's a lot of genetic things that people have. If you're missing a chromosome or you have an extra chromosome, you would have like a developmental problem. But plants love it. They often double up. So if there's 12, so if they have chromosome count of 12, they can double it. They go to 24. Strawberries do this. They can double it, go to 24. And what generally ends up happening is that the fruits, the strawberries become bigger, but they can double that also. They can go to 48 chromosome number. It's crazy. Plants are insane. And you know what's worse than plants? Is fungus, like mushrooms and stuff. I don't even want to get started on that. They're crazy. How did your plant go dormant late? Are you in the... But you're in the northern hemisphere, aren't you? Were you growing it with grow lights? Jen, Crosstooth is... After Crosstooth got the blood, he stopped growing, right? For a year. And then when we made this new... When I made this new grow room, he's recently bounced back, and now he looks really good. But he's made so many plants, like so many offspring. It's insane. Hello, Chirag Gaming. What's up? Lemon tree flytraps make flowers every spring. Yeah, every year. You can buy DCXL. I recommend Facebook groups. That's the best for most people. Like, I don't know where most people live, so that's why I always recommend Facebook groups, and you generally get better deals finding plants on Facebook groups, guys. Quinton, thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy the videos. So Lemon Tree, I'll tell you the story while I hopefully start up this next pot. I'll tell you the story of how I got into the plants. Lewis, the reason why it probably went dormant, it makes sense now why it would go dormant late, because they probably got that plant shipped to the garden center from a tissue culture place. But yeah, it would be acting funny now, but just keep giving it its light and looking after it. It'll be fine, as long as you obviously giving it the right basic care. So, Lemon Tree, the reason I got into these plants, and this is quite a weird story. Well, I think it's weird at least. When I was in grade 6, I was 12 years old. We had a teacher that wanted us to bring plants to class, to, I don't know what he wanted really. To teach us how to propagate plants or something silly like that. So we all bringing in, like, he wanted us to bring succulents specifically. And I was like 12, I didn't care about plants. No, like, what 12-year-old truly cares about plants really? You know? Obviously there's some, but majority like don't care. But we were all bringing in like succulents and whatever else, but this one girl in the class brought in a Venus flytrap. Like, and I remember these people, like, we all went to school together, we grew up together. I know who she is, but I won't say their names. But she brings in a flytrap, and the teacher has it on his desk because, you know, you have to be careful with the flytrap. He was saying you have to make sure that you don't damage it, or, you know. Fair enough. He obviously doesn't know much about them. Like, they're not like super like... Okay, I don't even know where I'm going with that. They're not sensitive plants, but, you know, with a room full of 12-year-olds, yeah, I guess it's a sensitive plant, is what I'm trying to say. So he had it on his desk so that no one would touch it. And I looked at it, I was like, oh, okay, whatever, Venus flytrap, I've heard about that. I just looked at it for a second, like, oh, it's just sitting there, like, okay. What does it do? It eats bugs. Okay, that's interesting, I guess. Carried on with the day. Like, he wanted us to get soil, cut our succulents, and then put them in the soil to learn how to get them to grow roots and propagate. But what I really think the teacher was trying to do, he honestly just wanted us to bring a whole bunch of plants so that he could get a whole bunch of plants for free. That's what I think was going on. Because then what he ended up doing, he had like a succulent garden outside his classroom. It was the school's succulent garden, but he planted them and he looked after it and everything. So I just think he wanted a way to get people to bring plants in for free. So anyway, he had us all walking around the class. We all had to go to like one person, cut off a leaf from the succulent and then plant that succulent into the soil, and then whatever, it will grow. Like we're supposed to take it home as like a project or something silly like that. So we were all doing that. I brought some South African type of thing I found in my garden. I don't even know what it is. It looks like a zebra looking, like it's like green and it's like light, almost white, light yellow white with light darkish green bands on succulent stems, and it grows quite tall. I have no idea what it is, but that's what I took in. And anyway, halfway through the lesson, the teacher starts shouting at the other kid in my class, and it's like, well, everyone goes quiet because why is the teacher shouting? What's going on? So just behind me, I turn around, and what had happened is that one of the kids in the class had taken the fly trap and cut off every single trap, because he thought that you could just take a fly trap and, like all the other plants we were doing that day, just take the fly trap, cut it off and stick it into some soil and it will grow. I mean, thinking on it now, he's not too far off. It wouldn't work, but he's not too far off, but he didn't know what he was doing anyway. And the teacher was like shouting at him saying, it was on my desk, you shouldn't be touching stuff that's on my desk. Those plants rely on each one of those traps to survive. It needs those traps to catch its food. They only make us a specific amount per year. Like, a whole bunch of half-truths, really. Like, some of it has merits, not all of it, but he was saying a whole bunch of half-truths. Because he just didn't know, and I mean, we didn't, in those, well, it wasn't those days, like, South Africa, we didn't really have much internet, so we didn't really know. And anyway, he got into a lot of trouble. And that's when I was like, oh, this plant relies on catching things to survive? That's kind of cool. But that was the first time I was exposed to them. And I didn't think more about them at all until a few weeks later, where I went to the supermarket, and outside the supermarket entrance there was a table, and they were selling different plants, and one of the plants was what some of you guys might know as a death cube, but it was more like a death circle because it was a cylinder instead. So I went there, they bring them all out, and I'm looking at it like, oh, this is actually kind of cool, I want one of these. So I tried to get it, but my dad wouldn't let me get it. So I left it. But then like 2 weeks later, I saw it again, and I asked again, and then he allowed me to get it. And that's when I got my first fly trap. And then I killed it after a week, because there's no internet, couldn't research it, there was no care instructions on it, absolutely no idea how to care for this plant. But then what ended up happening, we went to a different garden center like a month or two later, something like that, and then I found another fly trap, but this one actually had a website on the back. So like, okay, well, when I go to school on Monday, whatever it was, I'll try to go to the computers and see, like go to this website and see what they say. And this is when, so I type in the website, and this is when my mind was blown. Because it was like Venus flytraps. I'm like, whoa, what is this sticky plant? What is that? And it curls around and eats them? Whoa, what is that thing? Like, it has a lid and a tube, and the bugs like kind of fall into the tube. That's crazy. So I learned for the first time all the different carnivorous plants all in like one place. Sundews, Drosera, Flytraps, Sarracenia, Nepenthes, Pinguicula, Cephalotus, all of them just popped up on the page at the same time. I was like, whoa, there's more than just Flytraps. And that's how I got into the plants. I was hooked from that day onwards, pretty much. Like, you know, sometimes it's been on and off, but for the most part, it was from that day. So I'm going to be doing this one arched trap next. And yeah, that's a really arched trap. See if I can show you guys. Check how arched that trap is. That's insane. That's why I got it, because it's so cool looking. Uh, 4VAJ, the Flytrap is okay now after I gave it blood, but it took about a year to recover. Red and Peaches, Jen, they are still in the grow room, and they're huge. I'm going to be repotting them too because I need to. They're not here. I'll show you guys Dracula and Crosstooth and all of them later. Sethu, hi Sethu. Melissa, hi Melissa. I have Mindy Connolly Z. I have literally been in photographs for. Show me your biggest one you have. I repotted it earlier and the trap is closed now. I can show it to you when I'm done with this one. Yeah, Paul, this is a Deflora trap, the arch trap. I got it from them. I only really buy from them when they have their Black Friday sales. I mean, sometimes I'll buy more if they have like a good deal or something, but you know, you're in the US and you know, shipping plants is a mission, and I don't want to do lots of small orders all at once because then it just racks up the fees. So I generally do it all just at once. Daniel Zaydan, hey, what's up? Melissa McGorick, you have some that are seeds. Are you talking about fly traps? Mindy, here, I'll show you quick. This is the biggest fly trap I have in the room right now. I closed its trap by mistake repotting it, but here you can see that's the size of the trap next to my finger. It's not the biggest trap, but it's still big. The other one's closed. Someone needs to invent a better way of marking these pots, because you know it's always a battle trying to put labels on pots, and the labels always fade or break. So I'm trying paint pens now. Arched trap, guys. So like before, gently squeeze the outsides. This plant's so nice and cute, you know, I don't want to like close all the traps. Let's go. Turn it upside down, drop it out. I'm just checking the little flower stalks that I put in here, because sometimes little flower stalks look dead, but deep inside they're not, and they will still be creating little baby plants. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you take the Flytraps flowers and you cut them and you put that stem into the soil, like 50% of the time it will make a new little plant from that. So that's why I like to check the little flower stems before I just, throw them away if they've gone black. Now remember guys, I need to be careful with this because I don't want to damage anything, because if I damage it, I have to add it onto the damaged list over here. Then I have to spend another minute in the cold bath ice plunge thing. Oh, that's close. See, look, you see that bit of moss there? That bit of moss is growing with the roots, and I'm trying to get the moss out. There it is. It's so easy to break roots or break traps. It's so easy. Which is why I'm doing that challenge, to force myself to not break them. Wow. Nice little rhizome on this one, on this arch trap, guys. I'll show it to you now. Check the little rhizome out. See all the little arch traps? Nice little plant. It's growing super well now. I had it for like a year already, and it's barely grew because of the lack of sunlight in this country. But like you can see you could just see, like, look at those new traps that have come up. Like that's the old growth before, and this is the new growth now. And you can see just how much quicker it's grown since we moved into that other room. It's insane. Yeah, Paul, I want to get a labeling machine, but I want to get the one that that you can connect to the computer. But I think they're quite expensive. I haven't looked into it too much, to be honest, because I have the 3D printer. I've been experimenting with a different way to make labels and stuff, which I'll show you guys in a future episode or something. But it's used as a 3D printer, yeah. It'll be interesting. You can use rooting hormone powder, whatever, on carnivorous plants, but only rarely Nepenthes. Not so much Flytraps. I mean, you can, but you can. It's just better. If you're going to do like leaf pullings, just put the leaf in the soil. There's no real need to do rooting hormone and stuff, but it does help a lot, especially for Nepenthes. I think that's correct. I don't recommend transparent pots, Mass, because my throat hurts from talking so much. With transparent pots, you get algae growth and moss growth on the sides of the pots, which I don't like that. I guess if you don't care, then yeah. And I'm pretty sure, but what can happen, I'm not too sure about Flytraps, but with sundews, if their roots grow to the side of a see-through pot, you'll get plants growing underground because there's light there, and sundews have they can develop new plants from the tips of their roots. So that's why I don't really like transparent pots. But yeah, I mean, if you really want to, you can. It's just, personally, I don't like that. And yeah, Paul, you're right, I should get a little bucket to dip the roots in. I'll probably do that after this one, to be fair. I didn't want to do it at first because I didn't want to make a bigger mess than I was going to, but it's going to be safer for the plants. So yeah, guys, just like before, get the direction of the rhizome. Get the rhizome pointed in the direction of growth that you want it to go in. Pull this up a little bit. Okay. This is a little bit of a smaller plant than the last one, which is why I needed to fill that little square that I spoke about earlier up a little bit more. But now I'm going to do, like last time, put those roots in. And like Paul mentioned as well, Mr. Striker, you want the rhizome slightly above the soil level, because the plant does preemptively like dig itself down a little bit. So you want it slightly above, not too far up, so it doesn't work too hard. But you do want that rhizome just a bit up. And then you can start filling up that gap again with the soil. And these plants, they've really needed a repot. You know, I don't understand it. Sometimes you get, like, you buy plants. This is something that irritates me. And you'll buy an expensive plant, and it arrives to you not packaged very well, or the soil is like falling out, or the plant is like really small and sickly. You know, like, I mean, the bare minimum, just make sure that there's enough soil in the pot. Like, surely, if you, like, especially if you're selling it, like, if you're going to be selling a plant, make sure there's enough soil in the pot. I just don't get that. Obviously, if the price is right, yeah, of course, you'll buy it anyway, but it's still like, really? I've never understood that one. Yeah, Daniel, I could get a like a $10 cheap label maker, but like I said, I bought a 3D printer and I want to 3D print labels. That's what I'm gonna try that and see how they fade, because you can try different materials and stuff. So I'll try that first before I get a label maker. I know a label maker is probably cheaper and quicker, and I could get that. But since I have the 3D printer, I might as well try it, right? And see if I even like it. You know, maybe I don't like it, or maybe I love it. I don't know. So yeah, just like the last plants, I've finished tamping down this one's top soil level, and I'll just finish adding up the top. Make sure it actually has soil, like I mentioned. I don't know how people sell plants with not enough soil. You know, guys, let me tell you another story of what happened the other day. So, you guys can hear the crickets in the background, right? Let me know. Let me know. What is that? KKK TT Mike. Can you do Shark Tooth 1 next, or if you have a B52? Lewis, I don't have them with me. Hi, Nick. I saw something pop up there on TikTok. I don't really know what that is. Rallying call? What is that, guys? But yeah, I'm waiting for you guys. Let me know. Can you hear the crickets in the background? Yeah. Yeah, Mass, you're on the right direction. Guide route tab. Yeah. Hello. But yeah, okay, you guys can hear the crickets. So let me tell you guys the story. The crickets and the locusts, so the crickets and the locusts are for the chameleon. You guys might have seen him in the video that we recently did, pregnant locust video. And he eats them, obviously, and he also eats silkworms. So silkworms eat mulberry trees, leaves. They eat the leaves. And they can also eat mulberry chow, but I don't like the chow because it makes them sick. Like, you have to be so careful with it. And I just wanted to give them leaves because in South Africa, you kind of just, I don't know how, but everyone just has silkworms as kids, like they're like pets. And everyone knows they just give them like leaves, mulberry leaves, and that's it. I was like, I want to get mulberry trees. It's going to be so much easier. And the reason why I remember this story is because of these like fly traps. You see how this is a fly trap from a cellar? You can see there's like not enough soil, like I was just talking about earlier. Thank you for the flame hearts, RJ the soldier. RJ the soldier. This is a plant that I bought from someone, like I was saying, doesn't have enough soil. And so, back to the story, I bought a mulberry tree to feed the silkworms for the chameleon. And this tree arrived. It's a tall tree. It's like, I guess, it's actually much taller than that. It's about 8 to 9 feet tall. So 2 meters 30, 2 meters 40 centimeters, something like that. It's quite a tall tree. And the guy arrives with the van. He takes it out the back. He puts it down. I don't think much of it. I'm like, oh, the guy just delivered the tree. Thank you very much for the tree. You know, going on like that. And I'm thinking to myself, wait, did bro just like pick up an 8-foot tree with one hand? And he did. So he leaves. He takes it. You know, they take the picture, proof of delivery, then he leaves. Then I grab the tree and I pick it up with one hand too. I'm like, wow, this tree is really light. And I wasn't thinking much about it. So I'm taking the tree down like my side alleyway driveway to bring it to the back garden so that, you know, I can water it and whatever. And as I'm picking it up, I notice all of the leaves and branches are like falling off. I'm like, what's wrong with this tree? I think it needs a bit of water. So I put it down in the back garden, and that's when I'm like, okay, I can take a look at this thing. And I look up at the leaves. And it looks like so dry and thirsty. And that explains why it was so light. So I'm like, wow, this poor tree, like it's been in this hot van for who knows how long. And we got it from a British company, which that's important information for later. So I'm like, okay, well, it obviously needs some water. So let me try watering this thing. I go through like 40 liters of water. I don't know how many gallons that is. 60, 70 gallons of water, I think. I really don't know the conversion with gallons. A lot of gallons of water. A lot of water. Trying to water this thing. And the soil is so badly hydrophobic. They haven't watered this tree clearly in like 2, 3, 4 weeks. I don't know what they were trying to do. Saving weight on shipping, I don't know what it was, but this tree's soil was so dry it wouldn't even absorb water anymore, and the tree was dying. So I'm worried, obviously, I'm worried about this damn tree. And I have a little dripping tap that I got for the water butt that collects rainwater. So I turn it so it just drips a little bit, slowly drip, one drip at a time, onto the soil of this tree, so they can slowly reabsorb some water because it's so dehydrated. So 2 days later, half of the soil had now absorbed some of the water. Yeah, Lewis, imagine if I said the tree was fake, that would be funny. So after 2 days, about 100 liters of water, guys, I don't know how many gallons that is, 50 gallons, 150, I really don't know. It had absorbed that much water and the tree was still dry. So they'd done something dodgy with the soil. But this is not the worst part. So this leaves are for the silkworms. And the leaves are falling off the tree. So I'm like, damn, maybe I should use these leaves to feed the silkworms before they go to waste, right? And if you guys didn't know it, mulberry trees make mulberries. It's an edible tree. And on the listing, I need to update this quick. On the listing, they also explain it's an edible tree. It makes edible berries, and it is the tree that silkworms like to eat from. And I just know, later on you guys will understand why I'm about to say this. I read through every single portion of their website about all information about all their plants. And on the listing they say it's an edible tree. So just keep that in mind. I grabbed myself some of the leaves that have fallen off the tree to feed the silkworms. And then I see there's some berries on the tree. And I'm like, oh, well, these berries, you know, I want to see if they're going to taste the same as my childhood. Because like I mentioned to you guys, in South Africa, everyone has silkworms as kids. And when you get the silkworm leaves, you eat when you get the leaves from a mulberry tree, you eat the mulberries too because you're a kid. So I have one of the berries and I taste it, like it's dry, it's disgusting, it's like dusty. I'm like, what the hell is dusty ass berry? So anyway, I ignore that. I'm like, maybe the tree just needs a bit of water. And I give the leaves to the silkworm colony. 250 silkworms for Mango, our chameleon. And he is supposed to be eating these silkworms every day because he loves them. So 20 minutes goes by and I look down and I see like 2 silkworms. Silkworms get sick very easily, and when they get sick they regurgitate. So I look down and I see 2 of them had regurgitated black liquid. I'm like, oh, that's not good, you know, 2 silkworms, it happens. I took them out, put them separately, and I was monitoring them. You know, because sometimes, I don't know, they can regurgitate and then they're fine. But no, not these 2. They were sick. They passed away, sadly, little silkworms. And I left it because I was like, oh, just, you know, it happens. You know, they get sick. Continued my day, edited some videos, went to gym, came back home. And one of my favorite parts of like feeding them leaves is that you give them a whole bunch of leaves, like a whole, like imagine giving them a whole lettuce, you know, but a handful of mulberry leaves, like a big bowl of leaves. And then a few hours later you go back and you see how much they've eaten. And it's kind of interesting, it's like a time lapse, you know, you take a picture in your head pretty much. So I come back 4 or 5 hours later and they've barely eaten the leaves, but on top of it they are all regurgitating. And I'm like, this is not good. Why are they regurgitating? And then I take a closer look. These silkworms are twerking, but in a bad way. They're shaking like this, and they're like curling up. And I'm like, this is terrible. This looks like all animals have a central nervous system. You guys probably know that. It looks like a central nervous system attack when they spasm up and they curl up. Like most animals will curl up when they get attacked in the CNS, central nervous system. I'm like, what does this? Pesticides. But this is an edible tree listed on their website as an edible tree, listed on their website as a tree that is meant for silkworms, and nowhere on any page, FAQs, grow guides, environmental impact, on the actual listing itself, nowhere do they talk about pesticides. So we email them, hey, do you use pesticides? And the next day we get a reply. So they say to us, hi, yes, we use pesticides on all of our trees and mulberry trees. Let us know if there's anything else you'd like help with. Now, I have withheld this information from you guys, but I ate that berry and I wasn't feeling very sick. So I was using the toilet pretty often. You know what I mean? So 3 days later now, 4 days later, we went from 250 silkworms to like 50. They were all poisoned by this tree, this damn tree that has no leaves, dry ass berries. The soil doesn't absorb water. We've told them everything that happened. We told them, like, we expect a refund. We don't want this damn tree anymore. You can get your tree back. I don't want your tree. Give us a refund. You've killed all of our silkworms, our pets. I fed silkworms to the chameleon, and I don't know if he had silkworms that had eaten the leaves. It's been a couple days, so I can say he hasn't. But the very next day, he had a very watery poop, which is quite scary for chameleon. You guys, if you know chameleons, you know that. And I had given some mulberry leaves to the tortoise because they're edible, and tortoises love sniffing and tasting and experimenting with things. And he had a very runny poop too. So all the silkworms are dying, the chameleon got infected, the tortoise got infected, and I got infected by this damn tree that won't even absorb water. So same thing. Why here is a different pot. Why do they send plants with rubbish soil? This one is missing soil. Like, what is going on? And it's the same with these guys. They didn't even water this damn infected tree. They didn't water the soil of it to save shipping fees, I guess, even though we pay shipping fees anyway. That's my story for you guys. I don't know what's happening with it though. I'll keep you guys updated, I guess. You know, as we find out if they ever reply. Would you say it's okay to feed your traps pull bugs or roly-polies? Yes, you can. But yeah, I guess I'll keep you guys updated on what happens, but it really sucks. Like, I grew those silkworms from eggs, not babies, from eggs. They were silkworm eggs. Grew them up. I've had them for like 2.5 months. And then they all died because of these people that won't disclose what's happening with their stuff and send a terrible tree. Say it's edible, but then it's actually not. When will the video end? I'm not too sure, guys. My voice is really hurting though. I'll do a couple more plants. Yeah, Buttvac Productions. Is this my first ever live stream? Brad Bear. I'm still upset about it. Because every single day I feed the silkworms mulberry chow, because that's all we have and we're running out. And like every day there's a couple more dead ones, you know. It's like you're just constantly looking at them and they keep being dead. Botvac, it's actually good to have lots of ladybugs in your garden. I wouldn't worry. Burl, Lauren, Serecta, do they grow by eating flies or do they still need water? They grow without flies. Flies and bugs is like fertilizer, and they definitely need water. They sit in water 24/7, and they need rainwater, distilled water. You can't just give them tap water. It has too much minerals, which will kill them. Do you have butterworts or any other kind of carnivorous plants? I do have butterworts and I do have other carnivorous plants, yes. Where do you usually get your traps? I usually get them from Facebook Marketplace, not Marketplace, Facebook groups. So, yeah, that's the best place if you want to get more fly traps. If you, I mean, look, if you guys want some fly traps, I'm obviously repotting some. You guys can send me an email or Instagram me, and I can let you know what I have, like extras I have. Or if you guys want a specific one that you know I have, let me know, and then you guys can buy it from me. Or I really do recommend Facebook groups. People, like, the best people to get it from are other growers in the hobby. They often give, like I've been saying, they won't sell you plants that don't have any soil in their pots. They'll sell you like usually a healthy plant, a plant that has enough soil in its pot, and it'll be fine. You know, that's why I say Facebook groups. Make sure it's obviously a decent Facebook group, like Carnivorous Plant Growers UK, Carnivorous Plant. If you're in America, Carnivorous Plant Growers like Bay Area or Texas or Colorado, like whatever state you're in. There's a lot of growers in the US. In Europe, there's Carnivorous Plant Growers insert country. There's so many of those groups. And even then, there's just general Facebook groups like Carnivorous Plant Growers. That's it. So you get a lot of groups on Facebook, and lots of the time you'll even see people posting on there saying stuff like, I have this plant for sale, who wants it? You know, and it's generally a good price too. So that's why I always recommend Facebook, because it's more universal. If I say to you guys like, oh, buy them from this place, but this nursery is only in the US, you know, everyone I'm talking to, they can't get those plants. So who just shouted? Take a guess. Take a guess. No, I don't have kids. Did you watch my video about my greenhouse? Botback. Are you guys, yeah. Yeah, Buttvac, it's the, you remember that video? You know the reason why I made, I have to talk encrypted. The reason why I made the grow room in the garage, the main reason, that's the entity which is shouting. Let me know if you understood that. Yeah, Mass, it's crazy. It's very sad, to be honest. I mean, it's extra sad because, like, growing them, the last time I grew silkworms, I was a kid. I was like 8, 9, you know, something like that. And so that's been like 20 years. Well, I'm rounding up, 20 years that I last grew them. So like this is my first time growing them from eggs, and then, you know, to like unintentionally poison your own little pets. It's sad. Okay, we're gonna be doing this guy now. Slacks Giant. How much do silkworms go for? RJ the Soldier. Man, for like 8 silkworms is £6. So they're expensive. I got a whole bunch as eggs, like I've been saying, which is a bit cheaper, but that was still expensive. Like, I don't even remember how much it was. But yeah, it's quite sad. Like, and they're adult-sized silkworms. You know, they're not like little tiny ones. For the same size, for 6 or 8 of these size silkworms that they are now, it's £6 each. So I don't know, you can do the maths on that, I guess, like a couple £100 worth of silkworms that, you know, just died. Not that I'm trying to sell them, they're for the comedian, it's just sad. You know? You guys understand. The soil doesn't actually smell too bad on these, to be honest. I mean, you can see, like, the reason why it looks okay is because the soil doesn't smell too bad. If the soil was really bad, the plant wouldn't look so good. This is Slack's Giant. Fairly big. I mean, most of the plants, they haven't been growing to their best because of the, you know, the lack of sunlight in the garden that I've had and that. But now with that grow room, guys, they're growing crazy. But fact, don't worry about it. Don't apologize. Actually that bot fact, that's funny. The crickets chirping is funny. That is actually true. That is funny. It's like, oh, my silkworms died. That's funny. Jen, I think the corkscrew carnivorous plant is Genlisiae. I don't have Genlisiae. I've never had it either. They're actually kind of difficult to get. I don't actually know anyone that has a Genlisiae. Yeah, I can't recall anyone. Well, this rhizome is quite interesting. Oh, I forgot to get the bowl of water, like Paul mentioned. It's alright. I'll get it for the next one. But check this rhizome out. I'll bring it closer to you guys, but take a look. There's a white section and a pink section, and they look separate. And what I think that is the white section is the old growth from before the grow room, and the pink section, the new growth, is from when I put it into there. And you guys can see the actual difference in growth thanks to the grow room. Yeah, I'll try to turn that a bit. Can you guys see that on TikTok? You see the white by my middle finger and then the pink rhizome by my pointing finger. RJ the Soldier, what's the best way to tell if a plant is healthy? I mean, like a plant that looks, I guess, like this, it is not long, elongated, it's not just green, it has red in the middle of the traps, it's growing new traps from the center, the petioles aren't over big, too big, then they're healthy plants. And also, a good way is the rhizome, like I just showed you. Where in the UK do you live? The East Midlands. So yeah, for you guys on YouTube, you can see the rhizome here. So by my middle finger is the old growth, and by my right finger is the new growth, is pink. So you can see that old growth is from when it was still outside, and the pink growth is from the grow room. Quite interesting. Do I have fly traps to eat the crickets? I do have enough, but the crickets are for the chameleon. I do have traps that are big enough. Like the one from earlier could eat. You saw the one with the pregnant locust? That video? That was that one plant there. That trap can eat any size cricket, but not the locust. Locusts are too big and strong. Middle finger's wild. Avery James, how you doing? I'm good, just repotting plants here. Oh, Paul, okay, you have Genlisiae. Wow. Can you send me a picture of it? I don't think Genlisiae looks like Utricularia from the surface, I think. I honestly haven't thought about them in years. I didn't write the label on this one either, did I? See, I'm so distracted. I thought it'd be much easier to talk and do things, but I get distracted too easily, and I'm realizing I'm not as good at multitasking as what I thought. I mean, I knew I was bad at multitasking, but this is really bad. I can't even write and talk. Isn't that a thing? They say, like, when men have to do two things at once, they'll, like, if they're talking and writing, like, they have to stop writing to talk and then stop talking to write. But girls, they can do them both at the same time. I've heard that before. Gojira, you're gonna be so disappointed. I've done one since you left. I've got 2 done in total. Here's the tally. This is the next one. Yeah, like I was saying, I get distracted too easily. Rodrigo Ferreira Camarada. It is better to keep them all as one. I'm not dividing them. Only if they fall apart, like they have divided and they come apart naturally, will I be separating them out. The best food to give Venus flytraps before winter? Naidu escapades. Let them catch their own food. Flies, you don't have to feed them. Unless they're like indoors and you really want to feed them, you can get them flies, crickets, whatever really. Any bug that can fit in the trap, they will eat it. But you don't have to feed them, especially if they're outdoors, they'll catch their own food. And soil, they do use a little bit of nutrients from the soil. Tawny Baker, how do you get them to go dormant in winter? Hi, Ilyafsb. Hi there. Hi, Johnny Sir. Avery James. The stream's going well, thank you. We're talking to a few different people some on YouTube, some on TikTok, so. Ilyas Fab, you're from Russia. I'm in England currently, but I'm not from England. So Tony Baker, how do you get them to go dormant in winter? Photo periods, okay? So photo periods, photo in Latin means light, period is amount of time. So in winter, you slowly get less and less light. And the plants, with their leaves, they pick up on this like, oh, I'm getting less light. And then they go dormant naturally. On top of this, it gets colder. That's a secondary trigger for them. So as long as they're getting less light and a little bit colder, they will go dormant. The easiest way is to literally just leave them outside if you can and let them get the natural sunlight and get cold naturally, then they go dormant by themselves. Hi, Venom Once Liver. Hi there again. Yeah, I've never seen. Oh, actually, Paul, I remember. I saw a picture of Gin Lissier that was in a see-through acrylic square pot, but it was like perfectly square. And the whole premise is that the guy could pull the pot out of the water reservoir to inspect the Gin Lissier corked roots. I remember that, and that was like 5-6 years ago when I saw that video or that picture. That was really cool. I wonder who that was. I think it was I think he's Japanese or Korean. I saw it on Instagram. I forgot. He has very cool plants, very nice pictures, but I forgot the name of his account. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was him. I think that's the picture or the video of his that I saw that I first saw his account. That was really cool. UNJK_8, hello. California. Ilya no, not California. I'm in England. United Kingdom. California's nice though. If a cat eats a Venus flytrap, it'll be fine. The plant won't be fine, but the cat will be fine. Famous. Oh, what cultivars do I recommend aside from the famous ones? Well, atypical, because they're so easy to grow and they're cheap. But that's like a really bad answer, right? I like a lot of them, but what I'm thinking of right now is Schuppenstyle. If you don't know Schuppenstyle, its leaves have like little scales on them, like it's very bumped. I like that. That's pretty cool. Patches is cool. They're not really easy to get though. Patches. It has like patches of red spots on it. Look, I like all the plants. It's very difficult. I like so many of them. Bimbo's good. I have Bimbo. I really like that one. Spider. You guys have probably seen Spider from the series. It's big. Spider's big. Brad Giant's also cool because it has those bumps on the side. Crosstooth is cool. Yeah, it's a very difficult answer. Like, even the Slacks Giants is cool. You know, it's like nice and rare. You know, it's a difficult one to answer. I can tell you my least favorite fly traps. My least favorite are the ones that don't trap. I'll still get them, but I like the ones that do stuff. Like, I have Error, VFT Error, and the reason why it's called that is because it looks perfect, but it just doesn't close. And I have Rose. It doesn't even make traps. So I'll still have them, but they're not my favorite. Those are my least favorite. Botvac, he's gonna send a picture of his Gin Lissier, the plant that we've been talking about. It's a type of carnivorous plant that has traps under the soil, and they're spiraled. The roots, or the traps and roots, they're like spiraled. It's actually really cool. And he has one. Because I was saying earlier, I don't know of anyone that has one. He said, I have. I'm like, oh, I'd like to see it. Paul is Donovan Striker Paul. He's one of our or I guess my one of the longest time subscribers on the channel. This is, and I mean from like 2018, 2017, I think. And Richard Davian, I don't know if Richard is still on. Richard Davian, he was one of our subscribers from like 2019. I don't know if he's still on the chat though, but he was in Australia when is how I met him. He messaged on oh my god, I can't even talk. He messaged on YouTube comments, and that was when I first had the channel in Australia. Goodbye, Botvac. It's good to talk with you. Gojira, what made me want a channel? So, the reason why I started a channel, I'll tell you from the start, I guess. I was in university. I can't multitask as we have discovered. So let me just pick these all out. So I was in university, and look, you know, so I'm from South Africa. It's not like, you know, the best country, and you can't really get a job there. So I was like, and I really love the plants, and I was like, well, I see all these people and they like do really well. They make all these great videos. I'm not expecting to do really well. I'll just make some videos and, you know, share how I care with the plants and meet new people and stuff, and I can maybe connect with some people and we can share plants and share tips and stuff. And if I ever earn, I was never expecting to get views. Like, look, my channel, depending on which stream you're watching right now, my channel, it had no views for the first 6-7 years. Only shorts really blew up when I'd started shorts. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. But anyway, I was never expecting to do well on YouTube. I was never expecting to become big. And I would highly argue I'm not a big YouTuber at all, by any stretch of the imagination. But I have a few videos that have decent amount of views. But when I started out, I never thought I'd get even 100,000 views on a video. But that was fun, because I was like, it's fun. Like, if I earn even $10 US, that's a lot of money in South Africa, and I can use that money to buy more plants. And that's what the whole point of it was. That's why I wanted to make a YouTube channel, to connect with people. And if I ever earned anything from it, just a little bit, because that's all I expected, just a little bit, I would just buy more plants with it. And that's why I started a YouTube. No, I'm not like some people are like super like, well, it depends how honest they are, but some people are super like, oh, I really love, I guess like Mr. Beast, right? He's like, he just wants to make the best videos. Like, that's what his goal has always been, right? He wants to make like the best videos. That was, from the start, that's been his goal. For me, it was just like connecting with other people in the hobby and like sharing videos really. And yeah, I never thought I would really do YouTube as much as I do right now. It's a good thing though. Labat 24. Oh yeah, Saracenia, Northwestern Oregon. I would love to visit them. I've been watching their videos for like a decade now. Them and California carnivores. Excuse me. I would want to see their operation. It'd be crazy. Yolt's the guy, what's up? Anthony Connors, hi there. Minor Cross Majesty, it's awesome. Naidu Escapades, the difference between shark teeth, flytrap, and red piranha. They have the same the same tooth shape, but one of them is red and one of them is green. They're very similar though. They're both part of the dentate group, that type of shaped tooth. Tawny Baker, can carnivorous plants go into the fridge for winter? Sundews, pitchers, and Venus flytraps. They can. I've never done it, and it's not something I really recommend. What I do recommend you do a lot of research on, because it can kill them if you aren't careful. So yeah, you gotta be quite careful. Okay. Yolt's the guy. Oh, I was about to say, you put your plants in the freezer. That's insane. But yeah, you meant fridge. Yeah, what Yolt's the guy, Tony Baker, what Yolt's the guy has said, it's pretty much correct. Like, you can unpot them and you keep them pretty much damp, but you have to be careful with mold and airflow issues and stuff. You have to be pretty careful. I've never done fridge dormancy. I've always kept them outside. Even in the greenhouse, when it gets frozen outside, I'll close up the greenhouse and I have a little space heater just to keep it above freezing, so they can handle frost and freezes, but I'd prefer them not to. So yeah. Cargo jokes. Venus flytraps aren't my favorite. It cycles. It always changes. So I think I'm kind of liking sundews right now, like the little rosetted red ones. Alicia, rubrifolia, trinervia. I like them, the little red ones. Hi, Botback. Spoon. Good to see you, Spoon. Yeah, Paul, you're right. They closed like what? Shortly after COVID, they closed to public. But I think if you chat with Danielle, I think it's Danielle or Daniela. She can organize, having a visitor or something. Not sure. I mean, look, I'd really like to go and visit them. They've been one of the biggest, inspirations? I don't know. Peter D'Amato, and yeah. So his book and reading how he cared for the plants and all that. So, yeah. It'd be good, even though he's no longer around, But yeah. So you see Damon and Daniela, and especially Sarracenia Northwest will be really cool, because they're mainly Sarracenia, aren't they? I think I saw, who is flytrapstore.com? That was the first time I ever saw a DCXL. There's that really cool picture. It's either of a DCXL or a B52, and it's like they're holding it up, and then like in the background there's like the sky, and they have their hand behind it. Is that a B52 or a DCXL? It's a pretty famous picture. Spoon, I do have pitcher plants. I showed them earlier in the stream, but I'm not going to do it right now. Shoo, that's crazy. You just had surgery on your teeth. Are you okay? Did you have like a wisdom tooth removed or something? Yeah, Paul, they moved they bought a farm or something. Which, that's crazy because I was looking at the price of property in Sebastopol. That's expensive place. So, I mean, and there's not much around, like in terms of land. So that would have been a very, I think they found it off market or something, the land. But that would have been a difficult find, I think. But yeah, Paul, it seemed like he, I never met him or spoke with him really, but he seemed like he had a pretty good sense of humor too, from what I've heard. So he introduced a lot of people to the hobby. Okay, I'm gonna update this now. Guys, this is terrible. I've done 3 plants in like 3 hours. That's so bad. I'm very not good at this multitasking thing. Red and Peaches are doing very well. They are in the grow room. And I need to repot them, but I don't have them here. I'll need to repot them a little bit later when I go back in there, and I'll bring them out when I'm finished these ones. Well, I am South African. Yeah, now I do escapades. I'm not sure what you understand. How do you stop the soil from tricking the what? And yes, I am, Will. Safe kids. Yes, I am South African. Yeah, so it is a DCXL. It's a huge plant. That was the first time I ever saw it. I was probably 15 when I saw that picture, and I was like, I want one, because they said it's bigger than B52. And then, like a year later, they became available in South Africa, and I got one. I don't even remember what happened to it. I think I had to sell it because I moved. Yeah, Peter's been a big influence in the hobby. Big. You know, ironically enough, the biggest influence of carnivorous plants in South Africa is a guy called Peter Hewitt. His name's also Peter. So, both Peters. At least for me, both of them, both Peters have been influential. Now I do escapades. I thought you were South African with that last name. Pretty much anywhere in South Africa is perfect. Like, I'm not exaggerating. Durban, Joburg, Cape Town, Maritzburg. I don't know. I think they changed the name of PMD. Peter Maritzburg. What is it? Bro, I'm not gonna say that name. I'm gonna butcher it. Ebetha. Gaberta, oh, I don't know. Anyway, the weather is pretty much perfect all over the most populated areas of South Africa, so you leave it outside. There's enough sun, the weather's perfect, so leave them outside. Roblox Story Kid, yeah, I'm not really even paying attention to views. It's not. I don't know if the views are going up or down. I'm not paying attention. So Safe Kids, I lived in Johannesburg. I don't live there anymore. I moved. Like, I don't know, 6 years ago I left. when I was just before COVID. So 2020 is when I left South Africa. So that was what, 5 years ago, and I lived in Joburg. And well, these plants don't really target mosquitoes. Like the best one for mosquito would be a Sanju Drosera. That would be the best. But even then, the thing is, mosquitoes, the way that the plants work is that they attract the insect to the trap, and mosquitoes aren't really interested in sticky globules. You know, they follow carbon dioxide, and it's only the females. They follow carbon dioxide that comes from an organism's like lungs or whatever. So they're following us, our breath. They're not following plants. So the best way, if you were to go with carnivorous plants to catch sundews and you were going to set them up, you would have it like Drosera binata, like a huge basket hanging in front of your open window. And the only reason why I say that, when the mosquito flies through the window, it hopefully gets caught by mistake, not that it actually flew to the plant on purpose. I hope that makes sense. Enjoy yourself, Roblox. And Jen, how do you get mutated Flytrap seeds? Well, let's go step by step. You'd have to reproduce them, so naturally get the plants, the flowers to reproduce, you know, stigma style, all that stuff, let them develop. And then, so naturally would be UV radiation. The sunlight wouldn't really affect them, but like some gamma radiation or some sort affecting the DNA inside of the developing seeds, but that's not really something that happens that much. So if you want mutated Flytrap seeds, you would have to take the seeds and then literally like blast like gamma waves or UV onto them or something like that to make the seeds become mutated, but then they'll probably kill the seeds. Guys, chat just died. I'm still live, but the phone died, so I can't see you guys. Yeah, I'm switching it back on now. But I think I'm gonna guys, 3 hours and 3 plants is a very bad ratio, so and my throat hurts from talking so much. So what I think I'm gonna do, I'll keep on repotting, but I will end the live kind of soonish because I need to eat. And what's the time? 7, almost 7. So I'll probably end the live stream. I'll just wait for chat. I'll see what you guys are saying, and then I'll end the stream because I actually need to pot some plants. Okay, the phone's back on. I'll just open up chat now. Yeah, this thing keeps dying. This damn phone. It's because this cable is so bad. Like, you know, back to the topic of like people selling like bad things. Why does iPhone, like isn't Apple like the richest company? And they can't even supply a cable that doesn't break. Like, an iPhone is like £1,000, which is like 1,300 US. That is so much money, and then you get a cable. Like, you look at it. Like, you can literally look at the cable, pick up your phone, and it will like tear. Like, and your phone doesn't charge overnight. How many times has that happened to you guys? It's done it again. It's not. It switches on, but then it stops charging. This is terrible. Well, I'll just move the camera, guys. I'm gonna go to the computer with the camera. You guys on TikTok, thanks for joining today. Let me know if you want to see more live streams. So I'll end TikTok, but YouTube, I'll go check chat quick and then I'll end it. So goodbye, guys. Thanks for joining. Okay, I'm gonna pick up the camera now, guys. Okay, I'm gonna go check the computer, guys, see what you guys are saying. Cause like, have they been there the whole day?
Yeah, I'm about to take them for a walk.
Oh, okay.
I just fed Mango.
Okay.
When I'm working.
Yeah, we'll stop breathing while you sleep. I'm back at the computer now, guys. What do you do when someone asks you for Venus flytraps when you don't want to give them? Just say to them no. No, I'm not in South Africa anymore. I left 5 years ago. And this is crazy if you're South African. Look how bright it is. It's 7 o'clock at night. The sun is still gonna be up for another 3 hours. I am back now, guys. Yeah, guys, the GoPro overheated, so I just had to change its battery quick. Spoon, is it okay for them to eat moths? They can. Wool. Yes, it is weird. I don't like it. It stays bright until 11:30 at night, and then the sun rises at 3 in the morning. It sucks because I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I need the darkness to like get tired and then sleep, so it goes dark at 11:30. Takes me 2 hours to get tired, so that's like, I don't know what time that is, 11, 12, like 1 in the morning. Then I'm just getting ready to sleep, and then the sun starts rising, and then the birds start talking. Gianni Science, hello. Wow, that's huge. B52 measures 2 inches. Jeez. Yeah, tell me about it. That's why I'm gonna Labat 24. That's why I'm gonna stop streaming for today, and I'll just keep going tonight. And like Paul, Mr. Striker said, I'll probably do a time lapse or something. Gojira Rice Krispies. Scarlettine is actually doing really well. She's there for me to repot, and she has a bunch of babies, so I'm going to be repotting her and getting some babies ready to sell. Beer Chug Champion, how you doing? Skeptical Soul, hello. But yeah, guys, I'm going to go now. The GoPro's overheating, the camera's going to die, and I actually need to pot a couple of plants, so It's good to talk with everyone. Let me know if you guys want to see more chats. I mean, some more live streams. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I like chatting to you guys. So, yeah, let me know what you guys say. Yeah. You need to get blackout curtains is what they call it. Okay, guys. Nettie Jones, yeah. You missed most of it though, Nettie, because they're in the other room and I'm about to end the stream now, but yeah. Okay, guys. It's good chatting with you all. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.